the virus in that envelope. Now, a virus particle is also called a viron, and it's typically between 10 to 400 nanometers in size. Some viruses have got a tail, and that tail is really a hollow tube. At the end of the tail, there's fibers, and these fibers is involved in the virus attaching to the surface of the cell. So this slide here is showing the life cycle of a virus. So you probably all know that viruses have to enter a cell to replicate. Viruses cannot replicate outside of a host cell. And that is because a virus takes over the replication machinery which is found in cells. So if you look at the first picture here, you can see the virus is using the fibers, the tail fibers, to attach to the surface of the cell. It's taken up into the cell, and it inserts itself, its DNA or RNA, into the host DNA of that particular cell. That will allow it to start replicating. It will mature, and once the virus is matured, the cell will lyse, and it will release all these newly made viruses, which are then ready to go and infect other cells. Treatment for viral infections. So, as you probably know, treatment really in most cases only helped with the symptoms of the disease, and you really got to wait for the immune system to fight off the virus. However, we do have vaccines that obviously reduces the risk significantly of acquiring some of these viral illnesses. So, for example, we have got vaccines available which help to protect us against hepatitis A, hepatitis B, chickenpox, human papillomavirus, some strains of the human papillomavirus, I should say, some of the ones which are cancer-causing. We have got the MMR vaccines, which protects you against measles, mumps, and rubella. There's vaccines against polio and many other viruses. Now, vaccines vary in their effectiveness and also in the number of doses that you would require to confer protection or to confer immunity. So some vaccines requires a booster shot to maintain the immunity. Now, here is an example of a disease, measles, which is caused by the measles virus. You probably know you have had a vaccination against measles, most likely, but it is still, despite a vaccination program leading to a decline of 78% in measles death globally, the measles virus still does kill a significant amount of people. Now, what is it? Well, it's one of the leading causes of death amongst young children. And that is really despite us having a very safe and a very cost-effective vaccine available. In 2016, there was nearly 90,000 deaths from measles infections globally. And that is actually really low compared to other years, because other years, it's the first time that it's actually fallen below 100,000 infections or deaths from infections per year. Now, between 2000 and 2016, the vaccination, measles vaccination worldwide led to an 84% drop in death that was caused by this virus. 85% of all children in the world in 2016 had received at least one dose of the measles vaccine by their first birthday. And that is really through routine health vaccination programs. Now, in terms of death, that is thought to correlate to about 20.4 million deaths. So vaccination programs between 2000 and 2016 worldwide led to a reduction in death from this virus of 20.4 million worldwide. Now, in recent years, there has been an increase in the cases of measles. So basically, in the most of Europe and the UK, measles were very much almost eradicated. However, in recent years, in some years in particular, we have seen an increase in infections. Now, why is that? Because this is despite us having a vaccination program, public vaccination program in place. Now, one of the reasons for that is because in 1998, there was a publication, a fraudulent publication from a research group which claimed or showed evidence to suggest that there was a link between receiving the vaccination. It was not only for a single vaccination, but what occurs in most countries is that you don't get vaccinations for measles as a single vaccine. What children, or in most countries, what children will be vaccinated with is actually a triple vaccine, which protects you against measles, mumps, and rubella. And these people showed a link between that triple vaccine and autism and colitis in children. It later turned, and because of that, a lot of parents were very apprehensive about getting their children vaccinated against, or not only against measles, but against measles, mumps, and rubella. And that led to us starting to see outbreaks of measles in the UK again, because parents were not getting their children vaccinated. Now, it later turned out that this paper was fraudulent, so it was not true what was published in the paper, and the paper was retracted, and there's been a lot of research since. More recently, a big study in Sweden, which has looked at, I can't remember, but a very, very large population of children, and found that there is absolutely no relationship between autism and children which have had the vaccination for measles, mumps, and rubella. Now, you do have a measles vaccination program in China as well, which you probably all know because you have had the vaccination. So it's been used in China since 1965. The schedule, so the number of doses that you receive really vary very much between the regions in China. It's recommended for children at 8 months of age, and it's obviously followed by the MMR, so measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine at 18 to 24 months, and again at 5 years of age. Now, the coverage in China, or the children which are taking up and getting this vaccination, ranges from 92 to 99%. So a really high uptake of people which are getting the vaccination. You have also had measles outbreak in China, just as we have had in the UK. And you can see that in these figures here. countrywide or nationwide vaccination programs that are in place. So what is measles? Well, it's a viral infection which is caused by infection with the measles virus. The measles virus is an enveloped single-stranded RNA virus, and it belongs to the genus morbillivirus. It's very contagious. It spreads by coughing and sneezing. The virus can remain active and contagious in the air or infect a surface for up to 2 hours, which is actually not that long. So you probably have seen the studies that have just come out on the coronavirus, which on metal surfaces, for example, can actually stay active and contagious for 72 hours. However, the study also showed that on paper, for example, the virus is only active and contagious for about 20 minutes. But the coronavirus does have a very long active and contagious period that it can remain on flat, particularly metal-like surfaces. Now, the measles virus is responsible for 6 million deaths in the 1960s, when 135 million people were infected. You often see clusters of infections. The vaccination does have a failure rate, so some people are not responding to the vaccination, but it's quite low, so it's only between 2 to 5% of the population. People at most risk of this infection is really young people, so children below the age of 5 and adults above the age of 20. Okay, so infection typically occurs by inhaling droplets which have got the virus inside it.